In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys 5 great fragrances for the springtime. I'm definitely the type of person to switch up my fragrance choices when the weather changes. So my decisions on what I'm going to wear very much depends on the temperature, the climate. That's not to say that, this rule or these types of videos should dictate what you wear. Anyone is free to wear whatever they want, whenever they want. But for me, there are some fragrances that just work in certain scenarios better than others. So I've got 3 full-size bottles and 2 large decants that I've been wearing recently that I think are really great, and I wanted to share them with you and recommend them. Stay tuned to find out which fragrances I'll be talking about. Hey, what's going on guys? Raj here. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome back to the channel if you are a returning subscriber. And if you're new here, you've just recently subscribed, welcome aboard. Thank you for your subscription. So, I've got a list video to do. I don't do these types of videos all the time. I don't like to, constantly be putting out list after list after list. But I have done, a fair few videos like this over the years, and I will leave the link down below to a playlist which is made up of, top 5s, top 10s, seasonal videos, any video where there are a bunch of fragrances mentioned in one go. So let's get into it. All the fragrances that I'm going to mention are listed down below. And also, before I get into the fragrances, drop a comment down below. What are the fragrances that you think work really well in spring, or just any fragrance that you've been wearing recently? Okay, the first one comes from Frederic Malle, and whenever I think of spring or when the weather starts to turn and becomes a little bit warmer, for me, this is the go-to fragrance in my collection, Geranium Pour Monsieur. This particular bottle I picked up, I want to say around this time last year, and for somebody who has not a huge fragrance collection, I bet around 35-40 bottles. I think I've put a decent dent in this one. This, I believe, was my first Malle fragrance that I bought. Not this bottle, but several years ago. It was either this one or Musc Ravageur. I can never remember which one actually was the first one. Probably this one. So, Geranium Pour Monsieur. This is fresh, uplifting. It has a sweet minty note, a grassy feel. There are some clean white musks I feel in this fragrance. There is a cold, icy, spicy feel to this fragrance too. I think it just performs really, really well. It develops really nicely. It's so easy to wear. It's called Pour Monsieur. I see no reason why this couldn't be Pour Mademoiselle, I guess. They've put it in the title, but with Frederic Malle fragrances, it's up for, if you like it, wear it kind of thing. One thing I noticed about Geranium Pour Monsieur is that whenever I get too close, whenever I put let's say I spray it on my hand and I put my hand up to my nose, it does become a little bit, what's the best way to say it? I don't get the full feel of this fragrance. It feels a little bit, it has like a numbing effect on my nose. This fragrance is one of those fragrances that I like to just spray on liberally on all over my, if I'm wearing a t-shirt or half sleeve shirt, all the way down the arms, hit up the clothes, and let the fragrance just naturally emanate and just project off your skin. And that I think is the best way to experience this fragrance. It is one of those that I think is very it has a versatility to it that I like. It has you can wear this to work, and if you're in an office environment, feel quite professional. But I feel like it has a very casual kind of walk in the park kind of fragrance, that kind of vibe. A Sunday afternoon walk in the park. This would go very, very well. It has it feels really natural to me, which I really appreciate. And overall, it's just a winner. Produced by or made by Dominique Ropion. Great fragrance. If you've tried it, let me know your thoughts. Yeah, definitely one I would recommend. Alright, so the next one is a fragrance that I don't own a full bottle of, but I could see myself adding it to my collection. I think it's a pretty good fragrance. This is actually one that's been around for a long time. It's from Cartier. This is called Pasha de Cartier. This is the Eau de Toilette version. That was released in 1992, so it's been around for almost 30 years now. It was made by Jacques Cavalier, and I wouldn't be surprised if, to commemorate 30 years of this fragrance being around, if Cartier came out with some sort of special edition. They've done multiple flankers, most recently the Parfum version, which I liked, which I reviewed also, and I will actually do a comparison between the two sometime soon, once I get kind of towards the end of this decant. So, what do I think of Cartier's Pasha? Well, they name a lot of their fragrances after their watches. Cartier is a jewelry company, if you didn't know. And this is actually, my scent of the day. Spicy, woody. It's got a very classic men's cologne kind of feel. Like, if you smelled enough mainstream, designer men's fragrances, you tend to pick up on this kind of structure, this way things are done. You've got this spicy, woody quality in here, which has a bit of sweetness also. It has a kind of crispness to it as well, which I really like. A minty quality, a green minty quality in there as well, but it's very, very balanced actually, this scent. It feels like a very work appropriate, like professional setting. You can wear fragrances whenever you want, but this is the thing that comes to my mind. And also this has a dry woody feel to it. It also has a kind of this might not make it sound great, but it has a generic freshness, a clean grooming product vibe to it, which actually I like, as long as that is done in balance and not too much of not overdone, like perhaps in Dior Sauvage, the EDT version specifically. I like it. I like this whole fragrance. I like the composition. I feel like there are hints of declaration in this fragrance, but declaration is very different. I just feel like maybe the spicy woody elements are toned down a lot more, and are found in here. I think there are some similarities. I'm not saying that they're the same fragrance, but yeah, this fragrance, the fact that it's been around for this long for a designer fragrance, especially nowadays when a lot of brands are just discontinuing fragrances, testament probably to this scent. Let me know again, have you checked this one out? How do you think it compares to all the other flankers? There's a Edition Noir version, I think there's a Sport version, a Parfum, as I said. Yeah, good fragrance, and as I said, I will review it. And I will compare it to the Parfum version, so stay tuned for that. Okay, moving on to another French house actually. This one is Hermes, and this fragrance is Equipage. It's just a classic. It really, really is. I have reviewed this one. I have been, ever since buying this fragrance, been thoroughly enjoying this one. You can see in the back there is a little sketch of a guy mounting a horse in a red jacket. So I guess you would call it an Abbey Rouge, actually, I guess, if you guys know the fragrance from Guerlain. That's what it all kind of refers to. Red jacket, I guess, red riding jacket. Equipage, man, this is, again, it has a very natural feel, similar to Geranium pour Monsieur. It feels like walking into not a greenhouse, but it's not quite as intense as that. It's like walking into a garden center. You've got that little bit of earthiness, but green leaves, it has quite a floral fragrance actually as well, which I appreciate. It's classy, it's uplifting. Again, I feel like it does have a minty quality. I feel like mint is a note that I'm picking up a lot in fragrances I've been wearing recently. Maybe because I am wearing a few more fresher fragrances as of late. Yeah, it's really nice. You can almost feel the waxiness of a leaf. If you get like a leaf in your hand and you rub it between your fingers, depending on the plant, it can have a very distinct smell. Yeah, very, very nice fragrance. I've got to say, Hermes do fragrances with a lot of sort of understated style, which I really appreciate. Simple bottle design, but looks good. I can't really say that the new H24, even though I haven't seen it in person, so to be fair, I need to see it in person. I can't say that it has the appeal of some of these bottles, and Terre d'Hermes and Voyage. Hermes bottles always look good to me, but I don't know. What have you guys seen the H24? I'm not really too sure about that one in terms of the way it looks, but want to get my nose on it. Anyway, on to the next fragrance. Next up is a fragrance from Boucheron. This one is Boucheron Pour Homme. This is the EDT version. There is also an Eau de Parfum version of this one, and another fragrance from Boucheron that I'm really impressed with. The other one, previously I tried Jaipur, the EDP version, and this is another one that is really affordable, really classy, very well put together, and it's kind of surprising that this can be had for such a good price. This is another fragrance that has been around for a long time. It was released in 1991, and I'm still getting to know it, but basically the thoughts that come to my mind are heavy citrus notes, but it's not I wouldn't describe it as a super fresh in the way that, say, maybe an Acqua di Parma style citrus maybe, or a Xerjoff citrus. Not in that style. Like, the citruses are surrounded by, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I kind of feel like there is a powdery, a pasty, powdery dryness to this, which I like a lot actually. This fragrance, I've been quite impressed with this one. It gives me vibes of a little bit of Versace L'Homme, not exactly, but that sort of lemony-ness is in here. But there are a lot of other citruses in here also, giving a very kind of tanginess in the opening. But also I get similarities to Eau Sauvage by Dior, the original, the one that came out in 1966. In a kind of like sweet floral, citrusy, uplifting kind of, eau de cologne style fragrance. Really beautiful, I've got to say. Boucheron quality is definitely up there, and I would love to explore. I really need to explore a lot more from Boucheron. I would like to get my hands on the EDP version of this and maybe do a comparison video. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, let me know. And if you've tried this fragrance, let me know your thoughts. A great fragrance for spring, I think. Okay, so moving on to the final fragrance. Originally when I was thinking about which fragrances to put in this video, I didn't want to put a fragrance that I mentioned on last year's list, but the fragrance is so good and I love this one so much, and I have been wearing it recently and I will be wearing it a lot more over the next few months, going into summer too. So I'm just going to mention it again. Sorry for the repetition, but Xerjoff's 1861 Renaissance for me is just hands down just an absolute winner. Bottle design, I mean, first of all, the bottle design is really beautiful. I love this sort of frosted glass effect. I think because I used to own this fragrance in the older style packaging, and I much prefer this one. I did like the old one, but this one just looks, frosted glass just looks really cool to me. You've got this kind of Egyptian inspired cap here and the shape. Classy stuff. And the fragrance is so well put together. It is citrusy, it's quite tart and quite juicy. There is a lot of florals in here as well. Going into the mid, I believe there's Lily of the Valley as one of those. It does have quite a strong projection actually. I've noticed some comments from people saying, yeah, we can really smell you, and it is also one of those that develops really nicely from start to mid to base. There's some woody, dry elements in this fragrance, as well as the uplifting, sweet, juicy citruses and the sweet floral notes in there. Very Italian. It does give you the feeling of, walking through an Italian countryside, or walking through like an orange grove and there are other flowers and plants and grass all around you. Yeah, really great stuff. I mean, Xerjoff know what they're doing. 100 ml Eau de Parfum fragrance. Yeah, overall a winner. One of those from Xerjoff that are, I don't want to say like affordable, but relative to the other ones in their line, from the Shooting Stars collection and, you know, the Oud Stars, it's probably, I think, maybe the least expensive fragrance that they make. Still comes at a significant cost, but I would say it's worth it. Definitely worth checking out. Guys, let me know your fragrances that you are wearing and will be wearing in springtime. What do you think about these ones? Do you like them? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much to everyone who's been commenting recently, and all the new subscribers. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.